Hey, I just wanted to welcome everybody. My name is Messina Turnus, and I'm starting to do YouTube videos now, I guess. But today we are doing a get ready with me. This is the final look. Nothing special. We're just doing it every day, but I wanted to do something visual to kind of like engage you guys with what I'm saying as well. I think I made a lot of pretty decent points in this video, and I hope that you enjoy it. And I'm excited to release this video because it's my first one, and I think that this is a really cool journey that we get to go on together. And yeah, so please enjoy the video. Okay, welcome to this video. I'm a little nervous. I feel weird because also I can't see myself. I'm using my iPhone because I do not have a fancy camera, and I'm just trying out to see if I even enjoy producing long form content like this. But we're gonna work with what we have, and I'm gonna give it a go. So thank you for joining me today. And we're gonna do a get ready with me as I talk about why I'm not on TikTok anymore and what it's done for me. To help me get through today, I also have a coffee, so if you see me sipping on that, that's what it is. Let's get into the get ready, because obviously I'm not ready. So let's do it. Okay, I did lower my camera a little bit, so hopefully it's a slightly better view, but we're gonna start with like my base that I do daily. I am in the middle of Project Pan. I've been working on it for a long time and expect a video to come out talking about all the products I went through over winter break. But here's what I have left of this, and we're probably gonna use the rest of it today. This is my Lala Retro from Drunk Elephant, and it's one of my favorite moisturizers because I feel like it actually like gets into the skin for me. Like, I have very dry skin, I think. Like to the point where it kind of hurts to put on moisturizer a lot of times, but this is what I like to use when I'm doing my like base, which I keep saying base in like quotes because it's not a traditional like base. Like, I don't put on foundation every day. I just like to put a layer of color over the skin. Sorry, I also realized I kind of want to put on a headband because I don't want this to all get into like my hair. So I like to just put a color over the skin just to kind of even out the tone. I've been trying a couple different products, and what I'm using right now is the Saie Super Glowy Gel in Star Glow. So it's not the dark one. Also, I'm almost out of this, so I might try the dark one next, because basically I combine that with the e.l.f. drops, and like these I found are basically the same as Drunk Elephant. I always use Drunk Elephant before this, but I got a shade too dark, so that's also why I like to mix it with these, because it's pretty dark and it can be hard to spread out for me because it's so dark. So I just kind of like put a couple, that might have been too much, but I put some, just like a little bit on, kind of like wherever. There's no science to it. It's just kind of whatever I feel like in the moment. But yeah, I think I'm going to try, I think the other one's Sun Glow. I think I'm probably going to try that one next because I do really enjoy this product. I think it looks beautiful under makeup, and it looks beautiful on its like own. So yeah, look at that. Oh, it's very scary, but we're just gonna blend it out. Also, I like being tan, so that's why I like to do this. When I don't do this, I feel very naked and very weird. Okay, so now that I'm like kind of through explaining what I'm doing with my face, let's bring up some stuff about why I'm quitting TikTok. Actually, let me rephrase that. Why I have quit TikTok. And first of all, I am very tempted to go back, not to watch videos, but to produce videos. And I think that's why I'm starting to experiment here and try this out, because I do enjoy producing long form content more, I think. And I've always been kind of into like editing videos any school project, that was always my job. But basically, I'm kind of going back and forth in my head, like, do I go back for one more video then and just be like, hey, please follow me on YouTube? But one of the other reasons why I'm moving to YouTube is also because I don't like TikTok. I think TikTok has its uses, but I watched firsthand the use of propaganda, the degrading of my mental health that it did, and also this culture that it has formed of overconsumption, not just in products like makeup and food and all of this other stuff, but also overconsumption of media. I think that everybody pretty much knows doom scrolling and how easy it is to be caught into that and how hard it is to stop. When TikTok was banned, I took the app off of my home screen, and I have already kind of been going through this personal growth of mine to be more aware of the moment. And I first tried to use TikTok in more of an informative and beneficial way, but TikTok as a platform, it's proven to me personally to be very hard to actually try to tell it what I want to see. For example, I would go every single day and search up slime videos because I loved slime videos. I had a slime account. For those of you who know me, this is recent, by the way, not like 8th grade. Like, I had a slime account, which maybe I'll share some of that on here too, but we'll probably do a slime tour. But I was talking about personal growth and like also my personal reasons for not being on TikTok. I have not opened the app since it was banned, and I don't plan to. I took it off my home screen, and the whole day where like I couldn't access it, I was fine. Like, I went on a flight actually, and I didn't have like my downloaded TikToks to scroll through or whatever else. Like, I couldn't sit on TikTok in the airport, and I was fine. I actually was like, this is actually kind of peaceful. And I know that is not the same for everybody else. I heard personally from friends and stuff that like it was awful, it was so bad, but I realized that I can survive and I can live without it, even though there are things about it that I miss. However, I've noticed that a lot of the things that I have seen on TikTok that I really actually liked, I have found them on YouTube in longer form, and they're even better. Like, for example, there's a woodworker that I saw on TikTok, and he's been on TikTok for a long time, and he has started making YouTube videos, not like super recently, I think like probably a year or two ago, but I came across one of his videos on YouTube and I was like, oh, I saw this guy on TikTok, and it was so much better because I'm not just watching like quick instant gratification of look at this log, look at what it makes. I'm getting this long form content that takes my attention and forces me to actually sit and listen and watch and wait, and it makes the process more enjoyable. I get to see more stages. I get to hear his commentary. He tells me more about the wood and about what it does and what he's doing with it. And I find that to be like way, way better for not just like information purposes and entertainment purposes, but also for like mental purposes. I am taking time to sit down and put my attention on one thing for more than 1 minute and then scrolling and forgetting. I'm gonna keep doing my makeup here. Honestly, I've noticed an improvement. I feel myself paying more attention to things, especially being in college. I can sit through a lecture and not have to go on TikTok during the lecture. I can sit and listen. and watch and pay attention. And that alone, I think, has been very beneficial, because I am the type of learner where if you tell me something, like with your words, and you accompany some kind of visual, a picture or a diagram, I will remember. So if my attention is only on the listening part and I'm scrolling on TikTok, but I'm still kind of listening, I'm not getting the full benefit of seeing the visuals and connecting with my mind, what you're saying and what you're showing. So I've noticed it's been much, much better. And I've spent a lot more time on my notes for classes as well, which is also in part due to the fact that a lot of my classes are open note quizzes. So usually people are like, oh yay, but if you think about it, that means basically you better have good notes. So I've been taking a lot more time to make sure that my notes are good and they have what they need. And I've noticed it's been good and helpful, because I can actually sit down for an hour, 2 hours, up to 3 probably, and I will sit and work on one thing. And I can listen to a YouTube video like a podcast, or I can sit and listen to music, and I'm not overwhelmed by the choices of going on TikTok or whatever else. But I think that that's a really good skill to have. And I think it's a skill that some people are starting to lose because of the temptation and distraction of easy dopamine. TikTok is easy dopamine. You open the app, you see things that are catered towards you to make you watch, to make you love it, and you sit and you watch for who knows how long they can force you to watch, because now you are not just choosing to be done because you're moving on to something else. You're choosing to step away from the thing that is making you happy. And that is not a choice that people want to make. That is why doom scrolling happens, because you sit and you watch and you watch and you watch, because each video is filling up the dopamine meter just a little bit. But the thing is, like I talked about overconsumption, I think that is also a factor of overconsumption. Overconsumption of media. When you sit and you watch and you watch and you watch, you are diminishing your attention span, your, I think, pursuit of certain knowledge and stuff like that, because it doesn't bring you happiness. And you're also robbing yourself of enjoyment of other things. I found the longer that I spent on TikTok, the worse I felt, which I think is true for a lot of people. But it's also the worst I felt because I enjoy creating. I love scrapbooking. I love to scrapbook. I love crafting. I love playing video games sometimes. Like, I have a lot of hobbies that I love, but compared to the instant gratification that I would receive when I scrolled on TikTok, they don't compare. But now that it's like, it feels like I've been brought back to the time before TikTok for me, when I was a kid, and I would sit and watch these fun YouTube videos every once in a while, but then I'd put it down and I would do something fun. I would go outside, I would play, I would make things, I would color. I had an easy bake oven and I enjoyed exploring baking, you know? So I just think that it's hard to, like, for me to advocate to get rid of TikTok, because it has to be a personal decision. You have to decide for yourself to quit, because it is an addiction. Whether you think it is or not, by definition, it's an addiction. Especially for those of you who, when it was gone, you lost everything, it felt like, and you had nothing, and you didn't know how to function. That is an addiction. I hate to say it, And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm all high and mighty because I'm not on TikTok. I still consume a lot of media, but it is the types of media that I consume that are varying. I've found recently I've been going through a personal growth of exploring different sources of news, which I think is something that a lot of people should do. It's a very good thing for your mind. It's a very good thing for having an open mind and making your own opinions. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I witnessed firsthand propaganda, and absolutely I did. And you don't realize it the way that it is packaged on TikTok. And I've seen some creators talk about this as well because I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about this kind of stuff. How on TikTok, people will sell you things easier, and people, not just things, but also ideas, they will sell you easier because TikTok is a platform where it feels like it's a platform of peers. It is people who are equal to you. It's not an ad from a company. It's not a newspaper from a certain publisher. It's individual people. But the fact is that these people are representing these things, and these people are going to push their agendas. I'm not trying to be like woke and whatever, like literally flat out, people push their agendas, not just in a political way, but just like in general. People are going to push their agendas on you because that's what people do. But these people who are pushing their agendas, you believe that they are the same as you, basically. You find relatability, and that makes propaganda much more dangerous, I believe, to sit and watch these videos that are very geared towards one thing. And I think TikTok is also very hard for news. Like, I know many people my age, millennials, Gen Z, they get their information and their news from TikTok. And I think that TikTok is a good thing to bring you aware of certain situations if you were not already. But I think it's more important when you are made aware of a topic to go research it yourself and to go find out for yourself the facts and what actually happened and what it actually means. And this is where it comes into using multiple sources of news. If you only get your news from TikTok, you're not getting the full story. Even if it is a peer who is telling you, who they're telling you if they've done all this research, they know everything, they're an expert even, like not just in politics, not just in news, but also in like things like skincare. Like you see people come on all the time. I'm a dermatologist, and let me tell you like what you should buy, what you need to get, what you actually should do. Like, and that's not always what's actually right. Everybody has differing opinions. Everybody has differing values. I encourage you to go look for yourself the facts and the statistics and the truth, and then you decide instead of allowing TikTok to decide for you. And that brings up another point for me as well. TikTok did not allow me to think. Actually, before I get into that, there is one more point with that as well that I wanted to bring up. TikTok has an algorithm. During the election, if I liked any videos that had any political tone whatsoever, my entire For You page became one-sided. And I found that very frustrating because I am somebody who wants to know both sides. Even if I don't actually support both sides, I still want to know what the other side is saying. And it is very dangerous to me to not just like, it's not even just like a personal thing. I'm not just looking on Fox News. It's not that I'm choosing to do that. It's that TikTok is choosing for me what I get to see. And that is a very dangerous thing to me. I think that is something that causes extremism, 100%. And it causes a very like narrow view in people because I think people's perceptions of what TikTok is can be altered, and they don't think properly of like what TikTok is. It is an algorithm that's showing you things based off of what you like. And if you are only liking certain videos, it's only going to show you certain videos. If you're only liking videos that are like, oh, liberal gets owned, whatever, that's all you're gonna see. So I think it causes people who are already in their own box to become very, very narrow-minded and not open-minded whatsoever, because they are not seeing the other side at all. And these people, obviously, many of them do not have the interest to go look at the other side. When TikTok is only showing them one, they're gonna believe that this is what everybody is thinking. If I'm only being presented that Joe Biden was the best president in the world and all these people telling me why, my perception is that this is what everyone on TikTok is posting and talking about. I usually don't have the foresight to think that this is just what TikTok is showing me. I think this is the For You page, and I forget that it's for you. It is not for everyone. So it's hard to kind of draw a line between what is everybody talking about, where does everyone stand, what are the differing values, what are the differing opinions, and what is where TikTok thinks I stand and what TikTok wants me to believe and support. I'm not going to get into like weird conspiracy theories of like, oh, they're showing me this because they want this candidate to win. I don't know if I believe that, but it is entirely possible. I'm just saying, like, as a platform, its job is to make you watch. Its job is to make you engage. So that's what it's going to do. Whether you're on one side or the other, it will only show you one, because it doesn't benefit TikTok to show you both sides. Hypothetically, if I'm a huge Trump supporter, I don't want to see videos talking about the good things that Kamala Harris has done, to the point where like I have the potential to leave the app. So there's that. TikTok is going to show you what you like, which I think is obvious, but not obvious enough. Okay, then also where I kind of cut myself off, I was talking about how TikTok doesn't allow me to think. I found myself not just in like political stance, news stance, but just like literally everything. I wasn't thinking. I would get not even halfway through a video before it was already liked and it was already, the comments are open. Whew. This coffee is so good. Sorry. But what I'm saying is like, and I think this is true for a lot of people, like there's text on the video, you read the text and you immediately go to the comments to see what other people are saying. That was one of my favorite parts of TikTok, is the comments. But the problem with that is that I'm opening the comments like as fast as I can to receive the validation and dopamine that other people have similar opinions to me. But the problem of that is that I was going with such speed to the comments that I got there before my opinion was even formed. I read the text and I immediately opened the comments, and then I agree with some and disagree with others. And I also, like, it added another level of that, like, peer-to-peer relationship. I can see other people engaging with the video. I can see their thoughts, and they can add to it. They can add humor and stuff, and it draws me in further because it almost feels like I'm hanging out with people and I'm sharing my thoughts and I'm seeing their thoughts, and it's like a conversation in each video. I gotta blend this out before I keep talking looking crazy like this. By the way, I slept in this hair last night, and I'm actually surprised that it looks this good because I did it. My friends and I went out to a hockey game, and I was like, I'm gonna curl my hair, and this is what it looks like. But yeah, so I think I should do my eyebrows next. This is so funny how I don't know, I kind of like this actually. I probably will make more videos like this because I feel like I have a lot of things to say, and I have a lot of like, not so much opinions, but just like, I feel the need to inform people because I have been informed, and I want to, like, as much as I know that like people aren't gonna follow this, people probably aren't gonna watch it, I still want to use this platform as a place to speak and a place to teach. Okay, so I'm gonna do my brows, but also continuing on, I think another reason why I have not reopened the app whatsoever is also because I'm on my own journey of building boundaries with myself. I read a book that is called Good Boundaries or Goodbyes, and I'm pretty sure the author is Lisa TerKeurst, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but I have a couple books by her, and all of them that I've read so far, I've deeply enjoyed, and I think they really have made me kind of look inward at myself, and they've put me on these journeys. I picked up Good Boundaries and Goodbyes when I was in a time in my life where I was questioning my self-worth because I was not being treated right by a man, obviously. And it started to make me wonder if I was asking for too much and all of this stuff. And this is such a tangent, but I promise it's relevant. But basically, reading her book has kind of just like, it put me on a journey of finding my worth and setting boundaries. That's a tangent. And perhaps I'll make a video on that in the future because I think boundaries are an amazing thing. And once you master boundaries, which actually I don't know if anybody really does, but once you get better at setting boundaries, I think your mental health will improve because you're not allowing yourself to be hurt repeatedly and to be in a state of anxiety repeatedly. But after reading this book, I made a lot of boundaries with a lot of people. The one person that I did not make any boundaries with was myself. And that sounds kind of cheesy. Sorry, I need to go back to this because I'm realizing I can kind of see this still. But it does sound kind of cheesy, but it is very true. And I'm sure the book touched on it, but I was probably just not in a place where I wanted to even hear that. And that's okay because not just with addictions, like I said earlier, but like any mental or like physical well-being that you want to have, you have to start, you have to do, you have to want. So until you're actually in the mental place to be like, I'm going to do this, it's not going to happen. There were many times where I was like, I need to quit being on TikTok, I need to stop being on here so much, I need to reduce my time, like all of these things. But what I really needed was I needed to get rid of it in total, which means getting rid of all of the bad stuff, but yes, some of the good too. But I found obviously I can replace it with other things. I liked making TikToks. Right now, this is my first YouTube video, but I am having a really good time. I really like it. So there are replacements, there are things that you can do better, and I think there's a lot of parallels between TikTok and like a bad boyfriend or something, where there are good things, there are really good things, but there's also so much bad, and it varies from moment to moment. Like TikTok seems to know when I'm sad, and that's when they show me all of the sad videos in the world and makes me more sad. But then TikTok also shows me these like personal businesses that people have, and these like, you know, these small businesses that I can support, and these communities of people that I didn't know existed, and all of this stuff. And some of the good news of the world, but that's just how things are in the world. It's never black and white. It's never good or bad. Well, probably there are some things that are just good and just bad, but not usually. It's pretty rare that there's gonna be things that are just good, just bad. Like, I'm not trying to like super hype up YouTube and be like it's amazing. There are bad things with YouTube as well. There are communities where it's not great, but that's for something else. Basically, what I'm saying is that I had to set a like line, a real boundary with myself, because I have been for way too long like allowing myself every luxury that I ever wanted. Anything that I wanted to buy, I bought, basically. Budget wasn't much of a thing. I could buy whatever, and there were no consequences other than losing money. So I couldn't buy as much stuff, but I didn't really have anything that was like, if you do this, something bad's actually going to happen. But actually looking back, there were real consequences to my mental health and where I was at. I think the value of setting boundaries with yourself is very underappreciated, especially by me. I know that I can still be better at it, and I'm definitely going to put more energy towards that. And some of that was starting with TikTok. Harsh line, no exceptions, no more TikTok. And that's hard because you start to like reason with yourself like, well, there's good things that I'm gonna miss. I should go back and see the good things. Like, maybe it will be different. Again, back to the toxic boyfriend talk. Maybe it will be different this time. It won't. It never is. Like, it's still TikTok. It still has a lot of bad, and it still has an addictive nature. And just the nature of the app is not good for my mind. Setting boundaries with yourself, I think, is just good all around. It makes, first of all, I have more money. I have more time. And I have more things that I enjoy because I don't allow myself to get instant gratification from anything, really. Like, I really try to cut it down. I'm not paying for express shipping. I'm not paying for a million subscriptions. I'm not getting Starbucks every day because it brightens my day and because I need it and because it's starting my day good. Do you know what else starts my day good? Waking up in a clean room that I had time to clean because I wasn't doom scrolling for hours and hours, and waking up with my homework done. So I'm not freaking out all day about when am I gonna get it done, because when am I gonna get it done if I want to scroll on TikTok? What am I like? I don't want to get it done because I want to get this instant happiness and gratification that I can get from TikTok and nowhere else. But once the habit is broken, I guarantee that like happiness is found in almost anything. It's like, it's actually been like, this is so dramatic, but it has literally been life-changing. I think my relationships with people has even improved. I have way more friends, and I think my friends actually like enjoy being around me so much more because I'm not a source of negativity, and I've also become a source of knowledge and happiness to people. I feel like I find happiness in people more versus the people that are through the screen that can bring me happiness momentarily. I think happiness is a thing that is hard to chase, and it is hard to find when you want it right now. Bottom line, if you want it right now, I can't guarantee that you're gonna get it. I have the window open, so I don't know if you can hear the geese outside, but it's been pretty warm and nice, so I think they're starting to come home. But, you know, yeah, that's kind of like, I think I'll probably kind of end with that kind of message, that happiness is hard to find when you want it right now. Think about, if you're somebody who has this kind of addiction to getting happiness immediately, think about the gratification that you get when a package like takes a long time. When you order something and it takes several days to get here. Like, it sucks, but when it's here, you're like, oh my gosh, I got this thing that I've been waiting for and I've been thinking about so much. Like, it's that kind of thing. But then, and that's a little bit like of a surface level analogy. I think what's like more accurate is talking about how like happiness builds. It's not a package that's on the way and like one day you're going to wake up happy. I think that happiness is something that starts in your mind when you choose, I want to be happy, and not right this second. I want to be happy for a longer period. I want to be happy for most of the day. I want to at least be like not sad and depressed and anxious and all of these things that instant happiness comes with. I also think about this in the fact of like, it's kind of like a diet, I guess. Like, if your goal is to lose 30 pounds, you can't do it in one day. It's the type of thing where you have to work at it. You have to choose every day to eat well, to be active, and to do the things that will bring you to your goal. If you're not doing those things, you're not going to reach that goal. And I think it's the same with happiness. If you are allowing yourself to have this instant, like, lots of happiness, I think you're going to have issues finding it in the future. Like, for example, I think it's kind of also like overeating. Like, if I, like, and I've done this as well, and this is also part of setting boundaries with myself, is if I'm really, really hungry, I will DoorDash and I'll get a meal big enough for like 3 people. And sometimes I wouldn't finish it, but sometimes I would. And that instant happiness of like, oh, this food's so good, I love all of this food, I got all of the stuff I want. As soon as the meal is done, so is the gratification. Now I'm super full, I have no food left. And also sometimes I get sick. I don't feel good. I don't feel good in my body, and I don't feel good with the decision that I made and the consequences that it has. Like watching TikTok, and then the consequences of depression, anxiety, and like dopamine imbalances. If you're constantly going back and forth between so much and so little, just like eating so much food and then going to starve yourself because you feel like you ate so much, it's not sustainable. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your mind. I'm just gonna finish up, do my mascara, and then we'll come back for a concluding statement, I think. I think this is the final look for today. Hopefully I don't look crazy on camera or anything, but yeah, I'm really glad that you guys could join me today, and I think I got out a lot of things that have been on my mind for so long, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I just want to conclude with talking about, bringing up again the big 3 main things that I think getting rid of TikTok has really helped me with. Number 1 is time. I have time to do the hobbies that I like, to hang out with my friends more, to enjoy my surroundings. Like, even just being on the bus and not being on TikTok, I enjoy looking out the window. I like it. The second is thinking for myself. I think TikTok is a very dangerous thing that puts you in a certain mindset to think one way or the other based off of how it's used and its purpose as an app to draw you in. And I think that thinking for myself has made me a much better person. I have my own opinions. I have my own values, which also, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but also forming your own values is something that I think a lot of people are forgetting to do, especially in such a time where we are all pretty much in an era of our life, like being young people, where we have to discover who we are as people. And many of us are not thinking for ourselves and deciding who we are, and we're more kind of getting bits and pieces from other people and deciding which ones are kind of us and that kind of thing, and what opinions other people have that I could adopt. No, I encourage you all to become your own person and to really sit with the things that, do you enjoy it? Do you love it? Do you agree with it? All of that kind of stuff. And like TikTok can be a tool to introduce those ideas to you, and I have mentioned that. If you're not willing to just give it up, I encourage you to use it as a tool. Use it to discover that, hey, woodworking is kind of cool. Now, how can I get into that? Or what's some more information about it? Or like even just like news. I saw, like, I'm sure that people on TikTok have at least mentioned and talked about the crash with the plane and the helicopter colliding. I only know about it because I've been seeing the news and like more monitoring the news, and I know for myself like the facts of it. And like I said, I've not been on TikTok, but I guarantee that there are people making like conspiracy videos or making videos who are very like, they're laced in political propaganda of making you believe it's someone or somebody else's fault. And I encourage you to just look at things at face value and what they are. Sometimes it's not that deep, and these people who do that kind of thing are the kind of people that their agenda is to make you hate a certain person or a certain idea and support the other, obviously. But I digress. The third thing is probably the most important, and to me anyways, because I had a very rough first semester here at college, and I think that's true for a lot of people. I think that's something that's normal, but I wanted to kind of like fix that. Anyways, happiness, it was something that I thought I would never truly find, especially here. I started looking at other colleges. I started thinking about dropping out. I started thinking about all this stuff, and the thing that I found the most is that happiness is not found in a place. It's sometimes found in a person, I think, but like it really shouldn't be. Like actually, I think true happiness is always found and created in yourself. If you want to be happy, you have to do the things that will make you happy. And I think that people who are depressed know this. As somebody who has been very depressed, I knew the things that I had to do to gain real happiness. But the hard part about that is a lot of people who are depressed don't actually want to get better, which is really hard. Like I've gone through like spouts of motivation to try to be better and to try to do this stuff, but it has to be a whole mindset change. It really does. You have to give up the things that are bringing you happiness, like, you know, instant happiness, to find things that actually bring you real happiness that is long term and like invigorates your soul and makes you find meaning and purpose. Like, you know, I don't know, just find the things that you really care about. And that's also, again, with finding your values. Find out who you are, find out what matters to you, and go do it. But yeah, I think that's basically what I want to conclude with is, like, it's not just about TikTok, it's about a broader view of happiness, time, finding yourself, and forming boundaries with yourself and just becoming a more well-rounded and informed person and knowing who that person is. So, okay, I think we're all done here, and I hope you guys have a great day. And I said it before and I'll say it again, I really hope that you found something in this video, and I hope that if you are on a journey of finding happiness or leaving TikTok or not sure where you stand or who you are, I hope that you start exploring. That's basically it. Explore, go out on your own instead of engaging with the videos that are dished out to you. I want you to go out and on your own and search things and read things and consume things that are not handed to you. And if you search, you will find, I think. So I think that's all, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. I also think that I really like it, making videos, and if you enjoy them and you want to see more of this, I encourage you to follow me, because I probably will be producing more content like this. Yeah, so have a great day, and that's all.